A reference we can use to start to explore club delivery is very much using the butt of the club as a guide and reference. So for example, as we start to move into the kind of downswing phase, can we get the butt on top of the ball, roughly speaking, around about kind of shaft horizontal or shaft parallel in downswing? And that can be also very meaningful then to start then establish any imbalances or adaptations or misplacements in some ways, almost mispositions in some ways, of kind of how that club is moving and being delivered into impact. So once again, and this is very much your own perception, your own kind of visual view of this. So rather than, for example, say trying to observe someone or kind of looking at something, it's very much when you look down what your own kind of visual perception of this movement is. As we start to move the downswing, as we approach impact at shaft parallel, can we get the butt directly on top of that ball, roughly speaking, when that shaft is parallel and horizontal to the ground? And that can also be very helpful again then when we start looking at, say, adaptation. So for example, a very common one, keeping it very, very light and very informal, the idea that we start to kind of release the idea of that in-plane couple. We start to release that club very early in downswing. At no point in downswing will the butt get to the ball when the shaft is absolutely parallel. So it's those two references. When we start to kind of move into that delivery phase, when the shaft is parallel, the top of the butt is directly on top of that ball in that delivery phase. So again, if someone starts to release it very early, they kind of deliver that club very early, the butt never gets to the ball when that shaft is kind of horizontal in downswing. Vice versa, almost from if we hit towards the camera now, if we then start to say, for example, the hand will move this way through impact, starts to move away from the ball, for example. So now from that face on view, is the handle's moving away. Once again, when the butt's on top of the ball, the shaft is then not horizontal or parallel. We can kind of give multiple examples of that. For example, then someone starts to get very kind of active through hand and wrist. Again, the butt never gets to that ball when that shaft is parallel. So a wonderful reference we can use to start to explore club delivery. Once again, it's very much your own visual representation of this. As we start to approach into impact, can we get the butt on top of the ball, the butt to the ball when the grip and shaft are parallel and downswing? Can be a really nice reference to use and explore to then start to look at club delivery, and also then adaptations and imbalances around the position of that club as it moves into and approaches impact.